Okay, I'm Bees, and we're joined by Jesse and Adam for Scuzz Meets Kill Switch Engage for the next hour. Right, we open these interviews the same way every time. Who were the first people that bands and artists that made you want to be in a band?
Minor Threat, for sure.
Oh, wow.
That's probably, yeah, his voice and the speed of the music. That's the first band that really made me want to do it.
Well, that surprises me because it's like less melody and more just.
Well, that's where I come.
Angry young lad.
That's where I come from.
Yeah, amazing.
Melody came later.
Adam?
Probably Eddie Van Halen, just because he did fancy things and played guitar really cool.
Was it drums or guitar first that you started?
I started on drums first, actually, but I was just like, oh, whatever. My brother's friend had a drum set over. I'm like, I'm gonna try that thing. And
yeah, they can't see your cape behind cymbals as well.
Exactly.
Right?
You know, it can't flap in the breeze running. Yeah.
And so when you guys were starting out in Massachusetts, it seems like a weird kind of concept in 2013. But like, did people take to hardcore and metal being blended like straight away, or was that something that came with time? Because I mean, like, it was different to like Biohazard and bands that had kind of tried melding the two before because it had more traditional metal parts.
Yeah, no, I don't think it worked at first at all. I mean, you had bands like Integrity that were doing it,
yeah, and
no one was going to question them and make fun of them. But I mean, even before Killswitch, I was in a band called Corinne. We used to get made fun of for blending metal with hardcore.
It's funny. We were talking about that yesterday.
Because hardcore kids didn't want metal.
No,
you know,
right.
You had long hair, you played double bass. It was like, metal.
I remember everybody was thinking I was an idiot because, like, yeah, I like Slayer, but I also like, you know, Youth of Today and, you know, Bold. And
Gorilla Biscuits.
Biscuits, yeah.
But it's funny though because, you know, I remember Earth Crisis came out with their record Firestorm.
Right.
And in their interviews, they were like, yeah, we listened to Slayer. So it slowly started happening. I think when Killswitch came on, it was a little more digestible for people to you know, accept that at that point. But prior to Killswitch, yeah, I had a rough time with it.
And did it kind of, when you took it out of Massachusetts, when you guys got together and did the first self-titled record and took it out around the States, was it kind of weird going to other places and where those bands hadn't started kind of cropping up yet?
Do you remember that tour? I can't remember.
Yeah, I can remember. Actually,
you were a miserable.
We did a tour with Every Time I Die and this band Santa Sangre.
Yeah.
And some of the shows were literally like 10 to 12 people. So we would have them come on stage and it would literally be like all of us in a semicircle, like jamming, and no one in the audience. So yeah, it was rough. The first couple of tours were rough for us.
Mm.
Did it become exciting though when there was like all the other bands started cropping up, like yourselves and I guess Shadows Fall were around the same time?
Unearthed.
God forbid, and Unearthed. Yeah. Like,
yeah.
Was it an exciting time to be part of that?
I think it was, but you know, quite honestly, I quit, so I really wasn't a part of it after that.
We'll get there.
But you know, it was cool to watch Headbangers Ball and see all my friends. Absolutely, I felt really proud.
Yeah, it was pretty neat just to see the momentum just gaining and gaining, and yeah, more people coming to shows and metal becoming more and more accepted, and yeah. Fun times. And
I like asking these sorts of questions, but when you started when you had Alive or Just Breathing, when it was written and you were in the middle of recording it, did you know that you had something special when you had it? Because it was so different to everything else that was going on in terms of like the bigger bands in metal.
I never feel like that ever.
Yeah.
We always just kind of like, oh, this is music that we're working on.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think to think like, try to think about what the impact of the record would be or how people are going to perceive it while you're making it is probably the wrong way to go. And thankfully, none of us worked that way.
Do you realize how sick this is, bro?
Wow! Yeah, you say that, but I don't buy that you kind of recorded My Last Serenade and was like, that's all right.
No, literally,
really?
we did.
Why? Yeah.
Yeah. And then the label's like, oh, you should change that and sing more. And I think Adam and I like got a bunch of beers, sat around listening to it, and sent it back the way it was. And we're like, nope, we're not going to change it.
Yeah.
Killer. Welcome back to Scuzz Meets Kill Switch Engage. So, how difficult was it to walk away when people started? Like, when that record dropped, I remember it was certainly here. Everyone was properly into it, and it just seemed like a massive record. How difficult a decision was it to walk away from that?
Yeah, it wasn't difficult because where I was mentally at the time, I wasn't even thinking about that. I was just in a really dark crazy place. So me walking away was
Emotional mess.
probably the best thing for both parties involved. Obviously, clearly, because look at the success they got when I left. No, but it was the right thing to do.
He was on his male period.
Yeah.
Menstruation.
Was it like you didn't want to? You were done with touring, or was it just
I was done with life at that time.
right?
It was deep. It was bad. It's more than we've talked about in the media.
She said.
Yeah.
It was deep.
bad. But I mean, that's how it is. You got to be honest with yourself, and I just had to pull away from everything.
Could you describe, like, say, the first year that after you quit?
Ugh. I worked 3 jobs back to back. I was miserable and depressed.
Wow.
Yeah. I literally worked my fingers to the bone and got like a weird arthritis in my fingers.
What were the jobs?
Chopping wood for a bakery that had a wood stove, and then
That's still pretty metal.
Yeah, and then I got the job at the bakery, so I'd show up at the bakery, work at the bakery, and then chop wood for the bakery. And then I'd go downtown into the city and work for an antique window company refurbishing antique windows.
Wow.
What a rando job.
That's all I could get. I mean, I'm not like a college-educated person. I just got off tour and
Dummy.
took whatever I could get. That's fine. No, it is. But, it made me who I am. And at the time, I started up a band, a blues band, and got really deeply into the blues. And that helped me become a better singer and find the melodic side of my voice, too. So it all happened for a reason.
And when you guys got Howard in straight away, were you eager to get into the studio and record a record again, just to kind of prove that it wasn't just going to be like this one quick moment for Killswitch?
No, I think we were just more concerned with, getting out there and having the fans kind of accept a new dude in the band singing someone else's songs. And, we didn't want it to feel like a karaoke situation at all. Just like, hey, this is the new guy. Hopefully you like him.
Right.
And we started playing some shows, did some touring on it. And, he was accepted immediately. It worked out great.
Was that one of the reasons why you put When Darkness Falls out like way ahead of the End of Heartache coming out, because it kind of at least gives you a bit of identity for that lineup?
I don't think so. I think we were just asked to do a song for a movie, and we're like, okay,
simple as that.
Check this out, and gave that to them, and there you go. Yeah.
Okay, and I've always wondered over the years, has the End of Heartache kind of become an albatross for Killswitch in the respect that
strange, oversized bird?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, if you're going to... you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, in the way that, like, every time you have to speak to Slayer, you have to compare their latest record to Rain in Blood. It's always been the End of Heartache with Killswitch.
Yeah, it seems to be the record that people always gravitate to. But... I guess everyone's going to have a record like that where it stands out as like someone's favorite, or, some people, say Alive or Just Breathing was their favorite record, So, it's just opinion. It's fine.
I love the End of Heartache for the record. I think it's a great record.
Yeah, have you enjoyed doing the tracks from that?
Record. What?
Have you enjoyed doing the tracks from that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. I think The End of Heartache is a brilliant song. I love singing that song live. And the audience clearly loves it too, because oftentimes they're singing louder than me when I sing that song.
Sitting in 2013, how do you view the last self-titled and As Daylight Dies? Are they records you're still proud of?
No, they are,
yeah,
for sure. Each record is just like a slice in time, so it just represents where the band was at that time period. And the last record, the second self-titled record, that's the beginning of when Howard's disinterest in the band began. So it was a strange record to make, but it is what it is. It's not my favorite record. Glad that we did it though, because I think that kind of inspired us to begin writing more aggressive material for this new record, So, and then here we are.
And in hindsight, I might be putting 2 and 2 together and getting 5. But when you guys started doing Times of Grace, was it a testing of the waters to see if you could work together creatively.
Everyone thinks that.
Right. Well, seeing here now,
we were plotting and scheming the whole time.
No, well, less Dr. Evil than that.
No.
But like, to be able to do that creatively and to go out touring again together.
No, that to us is a
Don't
separate.
get me wrong. I think it actually
It helped.
did help a lot.
In retrospect, but at the time we weren't thinking, oh, now I'm going to join Killswitch because you guys are not sure what to do.
Right.
No, it was a nice. They were on hiatus. Adam had written a record that he asked me to be a part of, and it was a special thing for us that we just wanted to do. And quite honestly, I thought it was going to last longer. So I was like, oh, Times of Grace, this is going to be great. I wasn't even thinking Killswitch.
Right.
And then when Times of Grace kind of faded out and new Killswitch started to arise, it was like, okay, I'm going to go become a bartender. So I just straight away went into another job, and like I usually do,
Wow.
and just went back to my job, just working. So.
I mean, was it easy to start working together again?
No. Oh, yeah.
Because from afar, there never seemed much mudslinging between yourself and you guys.
Yeah.
Like, there never seemed like that kind of shitstorm in the press. So was it easy to come and start working together? Like, how did those opening conversations go?
Wicked easy. Well, he and I have been friends ever since he left the band. We remained in contact, and yeah, it was chill. And then it was like, I started writing that record and was doing a bunch of the lyrics, and that's when I realized, wow, I'm really shit at writing lyrics, which is why I ended up calling him.
No, he's not.
And I was like, give me some help, help me, help. And then it was simple. He was just like, yeah, of course, man, let's make some music.
Yeah, it was that easy.
And how much would you say that has helped what's gone on to be the new Killswitch record?
It reminded us how well we work in the studio together.
And it also reignited my love for touring, and touring with Joel and Adam.
Right.
I was like, oh, this is great fun.
It's pretty awful, actually.
No, it's not. It's a lot of fun. And
Me?
I think
Every
that,
day.
well, I mean, we're best friends, so I'm stuck with you.
Yeah.
No, but for me, it was like, oh, I think I can do this again. This is great fun. So when the opportunity arose and, they had parted ways with Howard, the whole touring aspect wasn't a question in my mind. I knew I could do that.
Right.
It was looking forward to writing a new record and wrapping my head around performing somebody else's songs. Those are my challenges.
Right.
So it was Times of Grace did help sort of pave the groundwork for me coming back in that regard.
So you weren't nervy or apprehensive about hitting the road again, just because
No.
the last time that we going back to what we were saying a minute ago about how your headspace was. You were fine.
Yeah, I'm a completely different person than I was 10 years ago.
And he learned his instrument. I think partially the reason he was such a mess back in the day was just still kind of learning how to sing on the road every day. It's the throat is a delicate instrument. You blow it out. You got to do take certain precautions to heal it and all that bullshit.
And I also think it had to do with confidence as an individual as well, just not knowing who I was as a person.
Your confidence was shattered.
And that has a lot to do with performance. If you're on stage and you're not confident with who you are, never mind your voice, I was a very strange singer back then. So I'm happy to say that I'm completely comfortable with myself now.
Killer. You mentioned the word disinterest earlier, because it's always been quite blurred as to Howard's last days within the band, but it seemed really like it was coming for a long time before the announcement.
That's what she said.
Hey! It was a long time coming before the announcement was actually made. Did you kind of know that was coming?
We knew something wasn't right. I think we all felt it, including Howard. To be in a band, you really have to want it. You can't go out and tour for most of the year and be like, oh, I can just get through this. You have to want to do it. And I think it just became evident that he was kind of getting over it. So yeah.
And did you ever question the future of Killswitch at that time?
Yeah, of course. We keep getting rid of singers and stuff, so it's not easy to recover from that. But except if you get your old singer as your new singer, pretty easy. But yeah, it's coming to the point where I'm personally if the band ends tomorrow, that's okay with me because I can't believe what we've actually accomplished. And
right.
The things we've done is just awesome. So
And I'm just getting started again, so I won't allow that.
And like this seems like a really weird question to ask with you sat here. But did you ever audition anyone else? I don't, because Phil did. Because Phil from All That Remains did.
No, he didn't.
The tour. The way he did the tour. Didn't
he did the tour.
Yeah. So I was like, hey, chill out. Let me finish. Let me finish.
Sorry.
No, he did do the tour. Yeah. But like in terms of the audition process, did you ever explore other avenues?
Absolutely.
Sorry, Jesse.
No. Yeah.
He was the last out of over 10 people we played with, interviewed, all that stuff.
Right.
And yeah.
Established names and unestablished names?
Yep.
Right.
I don't feel like I can.
Yeah. I'm not pushing. I just wanted that bit.
It's like leaking out to your boss that you're interviewing with somebody else. I don't want to do that.
Of course. Welcome back to the final part of Scars Meets Kill Switch Engage. How different was the writing and creating process from when you did Alive and Just Breathing? Because like all of those experiences that the band had been through, and as well as like you being in a totally different headspace, how different was recording the new record to Alive or Just Breathing?
It was worlds apart.
Yeah.
Well, with him, yeah.
Yeah.
The band always does the same thing every record. Just do our thing. Get the demos together, and then just get in the studio and track it. That's it. And usually the vocals are just put to the music afterwards.
Which is how I'm used to working anyway.
Right.
Most of the projects I've done, the music comes to me pretty much completed, and I just sing over it. So, it wasn't different in that regard. But I mean, the energy and the vibe and everything in the studio was completely different than 10 years ago. Yeah.
You grew up.
Yeah, I did.
Was it exciting as well? Because like having lived with the record for a couple of weeks now, like it's a lot more musically involved than Alive or Just Breathing. There's like a lot more going on.
Yeah.
Was that exciting?
We grew up.
Yeah. Naturally it should be progression. You don't ever want to regress. So yeah, I feel like we were connecting with our roots in a sense, but also pushing forward.
Like was it a difficult headspace to be in, like having Alive or Just Breathing, like this seminal record that it's become over the years, hanging over you, like no pressure, guys, but the last time you worked together was that banger of a record.
I still don't even think of that record in those terms, or anything like that. It's just like that was the band back then.
You can't ever believe your own hype. That's a very dangerous thing to do. And I'm happy to say this band doesn't do that at all.
So there was no added pressure from that?
There was no talk. Not even once did we say, oh, Alive or Just Breathing, and now. It was just like, now. What are we doing right now?
Yeah.
And in terms of the actual sound of the record and things like that, it's like, it doesn't feel like you've reinvented the wheel or like, it's just been about honing what's great about Kill Switch and pushing those things further. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think we just do our thing.
Totally.
That's all there is to it. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel, or, I think we just kind of put some riffs down. Do what we're hearing, and
I think it's all about feel. It was a feel to the record that as a writer I honed in on and just did the best I could to make it work with what I was thinking and feeling, instead of trying to force pushing genre boundaries. Like, just do what feels good, and I think that's what this record is. It's got a feel that is undeniable.
It's so important. You never want to force anything.
Yeah.
Just do what you do.
Was it exciting for you to be putting a record out like this much in the public eye and having it's been 10, 11 years worth of things that you can write about? Was that an exciting thing in terms of
of course it's exciting. Yeah, very exciting, yeah. But again, there's only so much I can focus on that, because I think the healthy way to do it is just do it because you love it and you want to put out something passionate without thinking about, what are people going to think about these lyrics?
Oh, no, I meant in terms of the things that you could draw from over the course of that time.
Oh, yeah, of course, there's plenty of things to draw from, but the thing that's different about this record, though, is I drew from stuff other than myself, where I feel like a lot of times I sort of do this a lot with the lyrics, which is easy to do, you can. But I was able to sort of look through other people's eyes and write about their experiences as well. So there's a bit of storytelling on this record as well, which I've never really done before. So I'm stoked for that.
And what made you pick In Due Time as the first thing that people heard?
It's honestly the record label's like, this would be the one.
Really?
And we're all like, sure. That's pretty much what happened.
If you had the choice right now, if I said here's every track on the record, what would you want people to hear next? What would you pick?
I personally would probably say Beyond the Flame. I think that's a great song. It's very catchy. It's got a very unique melody to it. And I think I think if anything, that song sort of is a little different for Killswitch sonically. And I'm proud of that song. I think it's a great song.
And are you looking forward to taking this record on the road?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Play some tunes.
Is there going to be a lot? Is there going to be a lot from this record as well? Because it feels like this album is like not necessarily defining Killswitch, but certainly for right now, like it feels fresher than the material that we've left.
I would love to, but I think it all depends on the audience. I feel like initially probably not. Probably give a few songs here and there.
Let everybody digest the record.
Yeah, you don't want to like come and bombard people with new material because they want to hear what they want to hear. So if the record is received really well, yeah, we'll start playing more off it. But got to make the audience happy.
Confident of people receiving it well?
Yeah, I am. But it's a hope. I can't anticipate what someone's going to think. But yeah, I hope people dig it, man.
Adam, you look kind of.
I'm always just like, hey, we'll see.
I can't remember what it was, but I saw a documentary of some kind where people were talking about working in the studio with you, and the most common used word is like no. Like,
of course.
Was it?
Well, if it ain't right, it's no.
Yeah. Like, I mean, was it? Were you cracking the whip hard on this record as well?
Well,
like with it being the first Killswitch record in a while, like
I did a lot of yelling.
Like,
there was a lot of yelling, especially with you.
Nah, it was fine. It's not like a different experience for me. I don't think it was any different from Times of Grace. It's one of those things where it's like, we discuss things, he gets loud and makes fun of me constantly, but
it's just a constant berating.
It's part of the process, and if anything, I'm laughing at myself just as loud as he is. So
does it help, like having that kind of light-hearted side when you're being as like hard on yourself as you are with lyrics and vocals?
I love when you're like, oh, why was that bad? I'm like, let me show you.
Yeah.
Play it back over and over. You're there? Yeah. Ooh.
But then there were times where I would finish the take, and before he had a chance to say it, I would say what he was going to say.
Right.
Yeah. I started to correct myself before he could. He's like, oh.
Learning process.
All right, there you go.
You can't hit a man who's already just punched himself in the face.
And I'm good at punching myself in the face, trust me.
Awesome. Thanks for your time today. Scouse Meets Killswitch Engage.